G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Down the Charts. We've definitely had an eventful past couple of weeks with Bitcoin soaring through some of its yearly all-time highs. We've had obviously Bitcoin dominating the market. A lot of money flow has been new. Not all of it has just come out of altcoins and into Bitcoin, but nevertheless, a lot of it has actually come out of the altcoins and pushed into Bitcoin. We've seen the prices of a lot of altcoins deflating quite a bit, being quite suppressed. Obviously, when this happens, there are some opportunities, but also people need to be careful. And I'm going to talk about a couple of things, good practices of cryptocurrency trading going forward. Nevertheless, let's tap on a couple of things with the community, just a bit of admin within there. It's really important for those of you that are a part of the community. It's great to see a lot of people touching base in there on a daily basis and sharing their opinions. The best thing about a community is you can verify everything that you're looking at and make sure that you're on the right track, as well as get ideas from others. And really will improve your knowledge of the space and your trading. So a couple of things there that we've had brought out in the last 2 weeks that have been really good. Henry, who is one of our account managers and support staff at Mining Store, is now posting regularly some articles to get people on top of the headline news in the cryptocurrency space, as well as stimulate opinions, conversations, and understanding within the mining store community as well. So really good stuff there, Henry, and I really like the work that you're doing there. Been great to see the progress that you've had over the journey of working at mining store. Your knowledge of the cryptocurrency space is fast improving, and your input in the community is really great as well. So I might actually just tap in there and quickly give a rundown of what I mean on the screen. So if I just bring it across, give me 2 seconds and I'll get the section up. So obviously this is the mining store Discord. And on the left-hand side, under the informations panel, you can see articles. And in here, we'll have Henry posting some really headline news articles, the major things that are happening, why Bitcoin's moving up. The other day when PayPal announced that they will be offering Bitcoin and cryptocurrency payments and storage through the PayPal app. Henry obviously posted that straight away and explained that that's why we had seen this major price increase here. So those kind of headline news, you obviously want to dig in yourself and do your own research and read Medium articles, read Cointelegraph. There's all these websites that have great information, as well as the information that comes through the Mining Store Discord. But this is a new edition that Henry will be posting one or two articles every day, and then every Thursday, he's going to release a document, and this will come out in the announcement channel. And this will be a document summarizing all those articles. So if you missed them, you can quickly glance over them and see a bit of a summary of those articles as well. Okay, so that's really good stuff by Henry there, and really good addition to the Mining Store Discord. Obviously, we've got the trading channels going as well. So if you want to jump into the BTC trading, you can see my posts, live. You don't have to wait for the breaking down the charts videos to get my opinion. You can even ask me in here what I think, or other people will post their opinions. It's a really good way to keep you in line. Sometimes even when I think the market's looking incredibly bullish or bearish, and the community will post a couple of things and give me a bit of perspective, and it'll really help me as well develop my opinion and kind of stay accountable to myself too. So that's really good. There's always the link in the bottom of the description of these videos as well for those people who are not part of the Mining Store Discord. You can jump in there, get a 7-day free trial. We'll make you feel very, very welcome. There's a bunch of welcoming videos as well that you can watch as a pre-member. So if you come down here when you join, you'll only be able to see the welcome screen videos, and some of those there's a pre-member video section as well, which I believe is actually a little bit further up. Give me 2 moments, and I'll show you what it looks like. Maybe it's under information. Uh, I'm not able to find it at the moment. There's a channel in here that you can basically see all these pre-member videos, and that'll basically give you an introduction to how the Discord community works and what you can expect to be a part of, and where you can find information, everything like that as well. Okay, so other than that, let's go and check out the charts for this past couple of days and past 2 weeks, and see what's going on in the market. So obviously with Bitcoin US dollar, we've seen it obviously taken a nice big rally and pushed into the second level trend line that we've been tracking. Now here, obviously, things were kind of going sideways for a little bit, and it was really important that we broke through this at 12,000 mark. Now, not only is it important that we break through these key levels where support, as you can see, the market had kind of failed or been struggling to push through and then actually broke down, and then it went into its consolidation phase again and broke through. When we get breakthroughs, it's not only important that we break through, but it's important that we break through with a decent amount of volume. And now I wouldn't say the volume was huge. It was definitely up there. It was a decent amount of volume. It's not a ridiculously large amount of volume like what we're seeing here after the COVID crash, buying and selling, people really sitting on the fence, and it kind of broke through or pushed back up. It's a decent amount of volume on this day here on the 21st of October, particularly when PayPal released that announcement. And you can check out this article here if you like as well, kind of giving a rundown of it's great news for the cryptocurrency space. But at the end of the day, there's some fundamental things that I personally and anyone who's experienced with cryptocurrency wouldn't engage with PayPal's service to buy or sell or trade with cryptocurrency, because as it says here, if you don't own your keys, then you don't own the coin. So there's a couple of downsides, similar to when Facebook released their idea of bringing out their own cryptocurrency Libra. Wasn't really a great cryptocurrency. It didn't really, have fundamental properties that a cryptocurrency should have. But nevertheless, it's great because it releases it out to 346 more million people that could get involved and start getting involved with how to properly engage with a cryptocurrency. Okay. So overall, a positive, and the market reacted positively to it. But nevertheless, I personally won't obviously be using that, and neither would most of the people in the mining stock community that know how to actually set up their own wallets and use cryptocurrency properly. But overall, as I said, positive, and it's pushed us into this second level trend line on the pitchfork. Now, another one that I like to look at here, and I've deliberately taken off so I can show everyone again how to put these on. The relative strength index here, if we pop that on, and as we know, it's kind of telling us how well Bitcoin's price action has performed over the past 14 days, and it's usually ranked between 30, which is this bottom trend line here, and 70. Okay, now as you can see, we've pushed well beyond and we're sitting at 80. So overall, it's over the past 14 days, it's at a very high price. And what you can expect when this happens is either for the market to trade sideways for a bit or to have a bit of a correction like it did here. So what I'm pretty much expecting for Bitcoin is for the market to kind of trade sideways for a bit, probably have another pull down, and then I'm expecting it to kind of push on towards the 15,000 mark. That's my prediction personally, and that's kind of what I'll be looking out for. If we have a look over, if we're on the DXY, if I go to, well, I'll quickly tap on this point actually. So the reason why I've got this up, this DXY is basically it's an index for the US dollar, okay? And it shows the strength of the US dollar against a basket of other major currencies like the yen, like you know, the Great British Pound. There's a whole bunch of other currencies, including the Australian dollar, major currencies out there, which this is basically like it's an index against them to see whether the US dollar is outperforming those currencies or underperforming to them. And as you can see, it's taken a massive landslide during the election time. The US dollar is really falling off in value, and that is another reason why a lot of other assets such as Bitcoin, which is pegged against the US dollar or valued against the US dollar, have taken another upturn as well. It's also because the US dollar is falling in value, which pushes up the assets that are pegged against it, such as gold and many other assets as well. So another contributing factor causing Bitcoin to go up there. Now, going back, and we'll just go back and finish off on this RSI. As I was saying, it is at a really, really high point, and historically speaking, when Bitcoin does reach these kind of 80 to 90 levels, we usually get a lot of sideways action or major pullbacks. Here's one example here. If we go to this one here and then go up, you start getting a bit of a major pullback, sideways actions before it kind of rallies again. So that's what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. I'm kind of expecting it to trade sideways and then possibly have a pullback and then rally on up again. I do think that we're probably going to trade along this bottom level of trend line. I don't think we're going to push up into these higher areas and start pushing towards this midterm regression line. I do think, as I say, we're going to trade sideways for a bit, probably pull back a little bit, and then pull up back towards, maybe in early January, late January. I think we're going to start trying to push towards this 15,000. Obviously, really depends on what happens. Anything can happen between here and there. We've got the US election coming up and a whole bunch of other things. Hopefully, we don't see some kind of crash in the US stock market, which will pull down the price of Bitcoin or the value of Bitcoin, inevitably, as it does with liquidity pinches, as we saw in the COVID crash. But nevertheless, that's kind of what I think is going to happen. We're going to trade sideways as we've done a really big push to get up here. We're a bit exhausted. Going to trade sideways, maybe have a little bit of a pull down, and then start picking back up towards the top of this lower level trend line. Okay. The other thing that we can put on as well is if we put on our multiple moving averages. Okay, pop these on, and as we can see, we're kind of trading well above the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day moving average. We've had crosses from the bottom up in here. If I just make this a little bit more sprayed out, these 20-day moving average, the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day have all crossed from bottom up, which is a really bullish sign. And usually we tend to see markets rally after, and of course, right here, as you can see, that's where the crosses occurred. You can see that purple crossing the yellow, which is the 50, and then the yellow back here crossing the 50, so the 50 crossing the 100, and that's a very bullish sign for things to start going up. And then, as you can see, we get this market escalation here as well. Okay. So that's a little bit about Bitcoin, what's going on, the major key events. Just to bring that back again, Henry's going to be posting those articles in here so you can keep up to date with why, not only, what is happening with the price, but why the price is going up is very important as well. Okay. And at the moment, it's majorly because of PayPal, this announcement, and because the US dollar is actually falling in value too. Okay. Moving on to Ethereum. So what I'm seeing for Ethereum at the moment is obviously, the old saying, as the tide rises, the ships rise with it. So with Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, they're the kind of two major currencies. They're kind of gaining a lot of traction. There's a lot of large investment banks or large investment groups, particularly Grayscale, who are buying up a lot of Bitcoin right now and fueling this market forward. So that's kind of what's happening with Ethereum. I don't really think it's anything that majorly they're doing as an individual project that's increasing their value, but kind of on the back of Bitcoin going up, the other major currencies are as well. But having said that, there was a very positive announcement coming out just last week regarding 2.0 deposit contracts to launch. So basically, one of the lead developers for the Ethereum group, Ben Egdington, he basically published an update that he predicts that the 2.0 beacon chain genesis will happen within the next 6 to 8 weeks. That's a positive update, just considering that the previous testnet to get 2.0, and for those that don't know, Ethereum 2.0 is basically the move going from proof of work to proof of stake, and also releasing things like sharding, which is going to make Ethereum blockchain a lot more scalable. Okay, so you can look up some of those terms that I just mentioned there, or type in Ethereum 2.0 and what it means, and what is sharding, and what does scalability mean. You can do a Google search, or have a look around on Medium, and I'm sure you'll get some great explanations. But basically, this is a really major event that's happening for Ethereum. And to be completely honest, I really think they need to get a wriggle on with it. They're really, people are getting a little bit nervous, or the market's kind of like sitting on a standstill at the moment. Everyone really needs this to happen so that we can move forward and have confidence. It's a major event that people are a bit worried about. If it doesn't go well, it could really disrupt the market. If it goes really well, we could see a lot of money rushed into Ethereum, maybe some value taken out of Bitcoin. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding this 2.0 release, and so it really needs to happen. We need to get out of the way, and I'm really hoping that, as Ben Eglinton says, that we do see this happen over the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks. I think 2 months is as long as I personally can hold out. I really would like to see it happen in 2020, and if not, really early 2021. Okay. So it gives you a bit an idea of what's going on. As I said, if the 2.0 does release, I expect Ethereum to have quite a large increase in value, as when we move from proof of work to proof of stake, we're going to see a lot of coins being locked up. The lockup is 32 Ethereum, which is quite a large amount. If you do 32 multiplied by 440, we got 30. It's about the value of Bitcoin. So it's about 12 or 13,000. So 32 times 430 is $13,760. So it's $13,760 just to host one node on the proof of stake once we go to proof of stake. And we're going to see a lot of people locking up their Ethereum so they can, similar to a term deposit at the bank where you lock up, say $10,000 or $13,000 and you earn a bit of an interest on it. People are looking to lock up their 32 Ethereum to earn, between 5 and 10% per annum. Okay. So that's basically what's happening with Ethereum. I do think if all goes well, we will start pushing up into our all-time yearly highs, up around the 480 US dollar mark. Right now, I feel like, again, similar to Bitcoin, Ethereum's probably got a little bit more to push up before it starts trading sideways, but we may kind of hit this kind of 440 area and pull back a little bit, back down to this 405 again over the next month. And then I'm hoping that we kind of push into this yellow territory here. And if Ethereum 2.0 is released, I do think we can get a big breakout and start hitting new all-time highs up and towards this trend. So I'll keep everyone updated. I'm not confident right now that we're going to push up into these trend levels. It really does depend on Ethereum 2.0 being successful, in my personal opinion. Okay. Moving on to altcoins. So as a lot of you know, and some people definitely would have been caught out by this kind of altcoin pull-off. There's a lot of projects being thrown around, a lot going on in the DeFi space with liquidity farming and people locked up in projects and maybe emotionally attached to them and the rest of it. But yeah, bringing things back to trading psychology, it is really, really important that you stay patient. Financial markets are usually a place, or a mechanism to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Okay, so if you're really impatient and you got in this project expecting to, you buy it at 10 or 20 cents and you expect it next week to be at 30 cents so you can get out, and that didn't happen. Unfortunately, that this is where you need to be patient and you need to go, okay, that's all right, it didn't happen. I'll sit on that one and I'll wait for it to come good and give it its time of the day. No altcoins are really doing overly well right now, or very few of them are. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of some of the altcoins that we've been tracking, and they're really taking a landslide, and a lot of money is just going into Bitcoin and Ethereum on a so-called the safer option while they're rallying. But we will see money pull off them. It's kind of clockwork how it happens, and we will see these altcoins getting a bit of love, and they will run quickly. So if you're selling out, that's really up to yourself. If you can't handle it, or it's just losing too much money on paper, and you do sell out, just be aware that you could kind of wake up even the next morning or open things up the next week, and things have just had a massive pump up of 20, 40, 50, 60%. This happens time and time again with the altcoins. So personally, with the altcoins that I am holding a hell of a lot of Digibyte from my mining farm, holding a lot of Teller, holding a lot of, I was holding a lot of Serum, and a couple of other coins that we're going to go into. If you did get caught out in these, personally, what I like to do is just hold tight, be really patient. At the end of the day, you really should be holding a majority of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So 50 to 80% of your portfolio should always, in my opinion, be Bitcoin or Ethereum, the major coins. Similar to with the stocks and things like that. A lot of people hold a lot of their blue chip stocks, 50 to 60 or 70 or 80% of their portfolio, depending on whether we're in risk on or risk off, is in blue chip stocks. And then the last 20, 30, 40% is in these kind of, more higher risk options. Okay. So it's the exact same here. So you really should be holding majority of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then, putting at the highs of Bitcoin, Ethereum, putting a little bit of that into these altcoins and try to take advantage of some of these dips for them to then go back up and you sell back into Bitcoin, Ethereum. Tends to be how I trade. So yeah, stay patient. Don't worry too much about what what it says on paper. You haven't sold it yet. You're still in the game. Moving, so we'll cover a bit more on Digibyte. Sorry, so obviously Digibyte was tracking along really nicely in the altcoin market, and then unfortunately, rather than breaking to the upside, although we did test it and continue pushing on, we obviously broke out of this kind of ascending wedge to the downside, and since then we've kind of really aggressively pulled back with Bitcoin taking a lot of the funds from the market. So right now we're sitting on a major support line. I would say the next major support line, which it looks like we potentially might test, is sitting down here at about the 146 Satoshi level. So down here it could be an opportunity to set your last step on your bags, and then if it pushed any lower, then you'd be waiting really for well down here at 50 to 60 Satoshi if you were going to pick any more up. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think overall we are in a bullish market. And I don't think these projects like Digibyte, which are quite major projects, top 100 projects, are going to landslide fall and lose a lot of value. They're just losing, having quite a major pullback with major coins taking a lot of the funds from the market. So opportunities that lie here, obviously, if you've doubled down in these areas already, you can just hold tight. But I do think we will bounce off these levels and aggressively bounce up. And I'll show you an example of RSR, how quickly this can actually happen. Even with Teller, another coin that we're mining, obviously, as you can see, within a couple of days, over the course of this month, we've already kind of, picked back up at least, what's this about? We pretty much doubled in value with RSR just in a month. So you've doubled if you picked up down around these prices. I was thinking about personally. So this is TRB. Sorry, I was thinking about personally picking some up, but I did start mining TRB again recently at around $22 US per coin. And I made a post the other day in the mining store group that for the miners out there that are with us, that I do think this coin could quite easily see a 100, 200, 300% gain even from that 22 US. We can easily come back up and hit these prices up here again. So good one to be exposed to, particularly for the miners at the moment. Yeah, just a great example of how quickly things can turn around. Within 1 month, it's already kind of doubled its value, and there's plenty more price action to see there. Now, I've got this highlighted box around the 23% fib line. So obviously, basically what we're looking to see here is a test, which we kind of already have tested there. But if we can break through and kind of hold the momentum, this could be another area to pick up some TRB and then look for the next breakthrough up to the 38% fib line. I'm not confident right now in this market that is necessarily going to happen. More likely or not, we might fail off this and kind of test lows and then hopefully start to pick back up. But nevertheless, this is going to be key price territory around this 23% fib line. Moving on to some other alts, including Serum, DIA, and we'll look at Loki separately. So Serum and DIA, again, it's just unfortunate. The alt market's really been hit quite hard. Serum is another one that I'm exposed to, and a lot of the mining store community is exposed to. FTX's kind of decentralized platform. Another one that I'm not covering quite on the charts in this episode because it hasn't been released to the public yet. But another decentralized exchange is Kira. So we'll be going into that later. But nevertheless, these projects, I don't really have too much to report on. It's just not the altcoin season. I'm kind of just holding on to them tight. Once we start to see more price action, I might start to look at, potentially even picking some up on the slopes down, or selling some off on some of the pumps. So that's the kind of the same story for DIA and Serum right there. Loki, as I said in the mining store community, we've had a whole heap, probably about, I'd say about 15 to 30, 15 to 20 Loki nodes have been picked up over the past 2 weeks from the mining store community, which has been really, really awesome. There's been great information being posted and everyone kind of talking about their strategy and how they're going about Loki in our node discussion. Even had Jagerman, one of the lead Loki devs, posting some really interesting stuff about the fork and what's coming up for Loki over the next coming weeks as well. So yeah, obviously major advantage of being in the mining store community is you'll get these first-hand posts coming through, and you can really start to diversify your portfolio and take advantage of some of the huge percentage gains that are available for these projects. You can actually earn interest of over 20% per year on your Loki, and on top of that, if you can get yourself in a position where you're exposing yourself to some high capital gains, and that means picking up Loki at around 30 to 40 cents, and then locking it up in a node for 6 to 12 months and earning 20% interest per year, and then selling that whole node plus the yields, up at these higher points at 60 to 80 cents, you can double your earnings on the capital as well as earn 20% yield. Now that's best case scenario. Of course, things can go the other way and you could lose half your capital, but personally what I do in those circumstances is I do increase my exposure and then wait for things to kick back around. Okay, so really good opportunity here. I love the Loki project. It's come such a long way. If you download even the wallet, for people that were involved with Loki early days, their GUI wallet is looking fantastic now. It's really easy to stake on other service nodes and really lock up those coins and start earning. They've got their Loki net almost fully functional. They just need to set up exit nodes so that you can, if anyone's familiar with VPNs, you can basically download the LokiNet product, and basically it'll act as a VPN once these exit nodes are set up. So easy to use. Download it, pretty much click an on button, and you're off to the races, and connected privately to the internet, and can browse the internet quite privately and in a decentralized manner as well. It's not like, the government, or you can get subpoenaed, or sorry, the local community could get subpoenaed and have to hand over your records or anything like that. That's the major advantage of a decentralized LokiNet, okay, as opposed to something like the Tor network. So yeah, as I said, there's a lot going on with Loki. They've already released their private messaging service. They've got that VPN service coming out as well, which is about to go live with LokiNet. They've got a chain swap, which acts as kind of like a Uniswap, but in a private manner, which is in the building and coming out soon as well. Really great community, and as I said, a great price to pick some up, and you can earn 20% yield on that. So if you're interested in that, just shoot me a message. If you're not part of the Mining Sword Discord, as I said, there's a 7-day free trial that you can access in the link of the description below, and more than welcome to jump in and just message me and say, hey, how do I get set up with Loki? As I said, helped about 15 or 20 people get set up with full nodes, half nodes, quarter nodes. It's 15,000 Loki for a full node. I pretty much host the node for you, so I stake 3,750 Loki, and then you can stake the remaining 11,250, or even just 3,750, and share that node with someone else as well. Okay. So I won't go into that too much detail, but as I said, really cool opportunity here, and I do think we will see Loki kind of push up into these higher prices, and we can get a great capital appreciation as well as collect some yields along the way. Moving on to RSR. So RSR responded really, really well to the PayPal announcement that came out. As a lot of you know, it's kind of rumored that RSR will be able to be accessed through PayPal at one stage as well, as a stable coin. So yeah, responded really, really well to PayPal. I was tracking this kind of downward trend line and waiting for RSR to pop through. One of my orders did actually get executed over the past couple of days, which I had set up at about here at the 10 Satoshi mark. So basically, yeah, really, really nice pickup. I'm glad to be back in and exposed to this project. I did sell out a little bit early on the run up here, because I had some information that I wasn't really too happy with regards to RSR. But nevertheless, I think that's why one of the major reasons it had one of its major corrections, and I did pick some up around here as well. So waiting for this to kind of appreciate in value and push back up, but really happy with the price that I picked, and happy that it's broken through this downward trend line as well. Other than that, not really much more to cover. Compound, that was Handshake, a coin that we had previously mined. Haven't really mined it for a long time. A lot of people have sold out. Some are still holding bags, and that's fine. Compound coin, again, similar to DIA and Serum, kind of just holding that one out, waiting for the altcoin winter to end, and kick back off into some more price action. So just a bit stuck with some of those altcoins, which is absolutely fine by me, because majority of my holding is in Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I've always encouraged people to do, and these coins are just absolutely pumping. Got some serious value. Might even start clipping off just a small amount, not a lot. I don't like taking my Bitcoin holdings, but a lot of the Bitcoin that I got, I picked up probably down here, about 8,000 to 9,000 is when I entered back into the market. I was confident enough to enter in, and we started seeing some of these breakthroughs. So I've had a decent run here. If we have a look, about 40% gain on 60 to 80% of the portfolio, which is quite nice. So I might start taking a little bit of profit and put it into US Tether to pick back up here, but you don't want to get cute with it. A lot of it, to be honest, is locked up in safes and not really accessible anyway, for the long-term investment with Bitcoin. My point that I would potentially look to take some major profits, it would be around the 25 to 30,000 mark, well up here anyway. So not really too interested in getting too cute with things. However, at these prices, I may sell off a little bit, maybe two Bitcoin or so, and look to pick it back up at the lower prices. Okay. That's pretty much everything, guys. As I say, can't stress enough how valuable the mining store community is, and I just love seeing more members coming through. So I strongly recommend that you guys jump on that 7 day free trial, come meet some of the most active people in this space and some of the smartest people in this space. I personally believe, it's such a great community. There's so much value to get in here. Honestly, I couldn't keep up with this market if I wasn't a part of it myself. And we get some really great engagement, some great opinions in here, and yeah, really nice new addition from Henry posting those daily articles to keep everyone up to date with kind of the headline news, if that's all you can keep up with, as well as on Thursday posting all the articles he posted with short summaries, if that's something that interests you, and then in between, Monday to Sunday, you can obviously jump in and pop your opinion in the trading chat, the BTC trading channel. That we even cover stocks and property market, everything like that as well. So there's a whole heap. And then obviously, if you're into the mining, you can engage with the mining channels. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Bit of a longer episode here, majorly covering obviously on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I'll catch you guys on the next one, and stay safe with your trading.